Everyone, welcome to this webinar. I hope you can all hear me. Please give me a thumb up sign if you can hear me. Okay, great. Thank you, Suleiman. We'll start in about 7 minutes. Thank you so much for coming. I can see some of our speakers already here. Excel, thank you so much for joining all the way from the US. Good morning, everyone. Please, you can drop in the chat box where you are from, and how are you today? Thank you. Thank you. Nuruddin is here as well, all the way from Switzerland. Thank you so much for joining.
Anyway, everybody has been, on me, I've just been here. Maybe, maybe that's the this is just crazy.
Okay, we have about 44 participants and we have a audience also on YouTube. So we do not take it for granted. We just want to wait for another 5 minutes to allow other people to join that are still in the waiting room. So we'll start right away in 5 minutes. Thank you so much. Wherever you are from, I could keep the chat coming. Where are you from? Yeah, Igil Victor. I don't know if I'm the one, but I can't hear anything. Victor, can you hear me now? Corridor from Lagos, good to have you here. Kenny, Nicholas, good to have you here. I hope you can all hear me. Thank you so much for joining. If you can hear me, just give me a thumb up sign. I would appreciate that. Great, great, great. Thank you so much for the multiple thumb ups. Well, I could see Dr. Jet also in the building. Silas is also here. We have amazing speakers that are joining us. Dr. Jen is away from Hong Kong. Thank you so much for your time. It's so good to have you. We'll start just in another couple of minutes. Thank you so much. Okay, I think we are good to go. I'm just gonna share my screen so that we can start right away. Thank you. I can see my brother, Dr. Silas. Yeah, Dr. Embryo. Thank you so much for joining. And please, Tayo, thank you so much for joining Vancouver. I can see Clinton County as well, all the way from Abuja, and Udemy Emanson. Thank you so much for the amazing job. So today we're discussing about how to write an academic CV, and shout out to our audience on YouTube. Those that join us all the way from Twitter as well. Today we'll be addressing how you can write your academic CV. Please, at any time you cannot hear me, please feel free to drop a comment in the chat box so that I can check my internet if anything is happening, or it will be great to give me a feedback. Thank you so much. And I want to appreciate my calls today. Please, yeah, you could feel free to admit people, and also we should be on the lookout for intruders. So my name is Zulumi Waigbajabi. I am a postdoctoral fellow at the University of British Columbia. And I'm also the founder of Scholarship Cafe, which I started about 2 years ago. Today, we'll be anchoring this program as well as tell you what is expected in an academic CV. A lot of people have been asking me how they go about writing an academic CV as a fresh grad. So let me know. You could drop your comment. And today we have a breakout room. We have amazing speakers from the field of STEM and non-STEM, which will be doing justice to your questions. Today, I'm welcoming you once again to Scholarships Cafe CV webinar. It's so good to have you here. So basically, this is my career trajectory. I hope you can all hear me. This is my career trajectory. I started my bachelor program from the State, Nigeria, and then I left for South Korea in 2013 when I got the Korean government scholarship, which was fully funded. And then I learned Korean for 1 year, after which a lot of people want to hear me speak Korean. And you say, Nigeria Sarami. So I'm from Nigeria, just to say my name is Ulumiwa. So when I left Korea after my master's, I proceeded to Germany for my PhD at KIT, Casper Institute of Technology, and where I had my PhD, I did within 3 UBC about 2 years ago, which I'm currently there as a postdoctoral research fellow. In all this, it's been through scholarships, and that's why I always encourage people to look out for global opportunities. Do it yourself, and that is why we started Scholarships Cafe. So basically, our mission at Scholarship Cafe is to, bring scholarship opportunities closer to people in terms of, qualified candidates. Over time, there's been lag in terms of getting scholarship opportunities. So our mission is to get these opportunities closer to you. And how do we do this? We've been working, behind the scene to create an all-encompassing hub, because we realized over 200 million worth of scholarships are left unclaimed annually. And what we've been doing the last couple of months, 3 months, is to build an encompassing hub that connects candidates to real-time global opportunities. It will be live in the next couple of weeks, so be on the lookout for that. So our two major goals is to ensure ensure that institutions that uses our platform, they get qualified candidates. And we also want to ensure that you, the candidates, that you register on our platform for free can have access to real-time scholarship resources and academic jobs, which we've been doing, on our Twitter page. We've been attending to your questions for free. And if anyone, who allege that we collect money from any candidates, please let us know. We do not collect money from candidates. Our service is DIY, and we want to make sure you have access to scholarship opportunities and, academic jobs across the globe at no extra cost, especially looking at the constraint imposed application fee, which have been in the movement in terms of saying no to IELTS and all the standardized testing, English standardized test from English-speaking African countries. So our two major goals is to connect institutions to, qualified candidates and make sure qualified candidates can also have access to real-time scholarships, resources, and academic jobs. So basically, shout out to all our audience from Burundi, from Sri Lanka, from Pakistan, from Peru, from Morocco. We have audience from over 45 countries, and we just want to appreciate you for your support so far, from Cameroon, from Ghana, from Nigeria, from Sri Lanka, from South Korea, from Tanzania, for everyone joining us today from Hong Kong, from Barcelona, from the US, from Canada. We just want to say thank you so much for your support so far. So basically, the outline for today is that we'll have the introduction, which just already started. Also, I would manage the session on how to develop an academic CV. So by 5 o'clock, we will have a breakout room for STEM and non-STEM. We'll create the breakout room so that you can join the breakout room yourself. If you have issues and trying to move to the breakout room, we will also help you out in terms of that. Then we'll come back to have a summary and closing remarks. Hopefully by 5:45, we should be out of here. And if you have questions on YouTube, we'll try as much as possible to bring your questions together, to get everything together so that you can also be part of today's meeting. Thank you so much, Osuji Bruno, all the way from South Korea, KDI. We appreciate you for joining us today. So briefly, we have in speakers Dr. Janet Nwagu, who's a postdoctoral research fellow at Hong Kong Polytechnic University. And I just want to say thank you so much for coming. You can wave, and I can also thank you so much. We were happy to have you here. Thank you so much for coming. We have Bruno Suji as well. I want to see your face. Bruno is from South Korea, from KDI in South Korea. Bruno, can you hear? You can see if I know it's dark in South Korea. Hi, it's so good to have you here. How are you today in South Korea? You can unmute yourself.
Can you hear me now?
We can't hear you.
Still can't hear me? Can you hear me?
Suchi, can hear you clearly.
Okay. Well, South Korea is fine. It's 1 a.m. It is 12 a.m. already. It's 12:13 here in South Korea. So we're already in Sunday. I don't know if everyone can hear me.
Okay, go ahead. I was having interference from my YouTube, and so I couldn't hear you very well. Can you just
Okay. Hi, everyone. This is Bruno Bright from South Korea. Thank you.
Hi, Janet. Janet, you want to say something? I've asked you to unmute. Okay. Hi. Okay. We can.
Okay. Good everyone. Can you hear me now? Okay. So I'm Janet Mayowa Nwogu, and I'm a postdoctoral fellow at the Hong Kong Polytechnic University, where I finished my PhD. And I'm glad to be here today. Thank you.
Please unmute, sir.
Okay. Hello, can you hear me?
You know, sir.
Okay. I wasn't getting anything before, so I just got it from that I should unmute myself. So I want to assume that I'm introducing myself. So I'm Sunday Olanio. That's my first name, but majorly I go by Olabode Olanio. So I'm a doctoral student in Baylor University in Texas in the United States. And I'm happy to be here because this CV issue that is about to be discussed is majorly one of the things that pushed me to where I am today. So I always like to talk about it to people. So I'm glad to be here. Thank you. Oh my God. So I'm actually muted. Okay. Okay. Sorry. Silas, go ahead and unmute yourself. Yeah, I've actually been speaking for like 20 minutes without muting myself. Okay, we can see that. Post, be on the lookout for intruders. We just got one, and I'm glad it's been removed online. We sent it to all our participants with ID and password, and still people probably find a way to enter the room. Please, my co-host, I beg you, please kindly do justice to that. Silas, I've granted you access to unmute yourself. I think I'm just gonna go with my presentation for today.
Okay.
Go ahead and introduce yourself, please.
Thank you very much, Dr. Lumuya. My name is Silas Udenza, doctoral student of Humanities and Communication in Open University of Barcelona here in Spain. It's my pleasure to be here. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much. Thank you for joining us. It's so good to have you all away from Spain. So I just want to go straight to my own presentation today. It's just about writing CV. Oftentimes people ask me, oh, they just finished undergrad, they don't have sophisticated CV like the one I did online. And I always say, okay, take it easy. And so the question is, what is CV? CV is means like a course of life, where resume, the difference between resume and CV means the CV is more detailed and the resume is like a summary. And in most countries, they use this interchangeably, especially in the UK. CV is broadly used for most job applications. So it's important that you understand what it is required for every field, or you can even write the HR or the graduate admission office to find out what they actually meant, if it is CV that is required or a resume. So in Nigeria, South Africa, India, United States, and Canada, CV and resume are often used interchangeably. So if you see a particular position that you like, it is okay what they require. If you're applying to the industry, oftentimes they ask you to submit a resume. They don't need your references or honors and awards or publications, because they want to see something that is tailored, a CV that is it's broad. So if you're not sure about this requirement, it is important that you you have to ask, like, okay, you wrote resume for an academic position. Do you want me to submit a resume or an academic CV? So it's important to be on the lookout for those things. So next, I want to talk about the key difference between CV and the resume. Like I said before, resume is like a summary, while CV is it's more broad. So for CV, you can have any length from, it could be 4, it could be 8, but for resume, oftentimes it's like 1 to 2 pages. For consulting resume, sometimes it's just 1 page. So you have to summarize all your qualification that is tailored to the particular position in a 1-page CV, then in 1-page resume. Then when it comes to CV, detailed information about education, work, research experience, publications, awards and honors, contribution to EDI, you can include those in your CV. But when it comes to resume, you have to look at the job description, the job title, what is required. Then you have to tailor your resume to the job description. In terms of CV, it could be static over the years. Like I have my CV, I've been building it for since I left undergrad, since 2010. And so I've been building it over time. But when it comes to resume, you have to adapt it and tailor it to the advertised position so that it can plug into 8 years. This 8 years is like a tracking machine that, 1,000 applicants are applying for a particular job. And when they plug them into the ATS machine screens those applicants out because it's based on keywords like, okay, maybe the ability to communicate effectively. You've been a key account manager before. So those are the things the ATS machine will be looking out for. And that is why you have to take time to write your resume. And in terms of CV, it's just basic design. I use black and white. You'll see mine later. But in terms of resume, it could be creative. You can include design, you can include skills, expertise, and a whole lot of things. So your take home today is like CV could be any length, where resume is like 1 to 2 pages, and CV could be broad in terms of you could apply for different academic position, faculty, postdoc, you're applying for masters, you are trying to send a code email to a professor, you need to use an academic CV that is well written and also that it's well formatted. But when it comes to resume, if you're thinking about an industry, these are things you may need to look out for. You have to submit a resume for a job in the industry and not a CV. So top 8 mistakes leavers to avoid. This is available on Scholarship Cafe YouTube page. You can check it out. Number 1, you need to be careful about the kind of photograph you use. I usually say this: if you are required to use a photograph on your CV, it has to be professional. You don't want to use a photograph that has a background that does not tally with what is in your CV. You need to be professional. You need to get a professional photo on the CV. This is applicable if you're applying for positions in Germany, in other part of the world like Canada and the US. Photographing your CV is not important. It's not required. So you have to be sure about the location you're sending your application to so that you know whether they require a photograph or not. Personal details, such as you can see here, this was my academic CV back in Nigeria. You have, place of birth, date of birth, nationality, state of origin, local government address, permanent home address, present postal address, GSM number, email address, marital status, number or ages of children. These are not necessary in your CV. In fact, it is rather discriminatory. But again, if you're applying for an academic position in Nigeria, please, you may have to include this in your CV because, recruitments are probably based on, catchment areas in Nigeria. But if you're applying to Germany, you're applying to the UK, you're applying to Canada, the US, South Korea, Hong Kong, these details are not necessary. The only details that is required is your full name and address and email address. You don't also have to list your TikTok account. You don't have to list your YouTube account. You don't have to list your Snapchat account. Those things are really like, it makes it clumsy, to understand. Yeah, the date of birth we've talked about, nationality, religion. Nobody cares about religion. Nobody's going to recruit you based on your religion. They're going to recruit you based on your expertise. Social media links is not important. Profile summary for people in academia is optional. For me, I usually replace it with research interest. So you don't want to write, okay, I'm an hardworking, I can work under pressure like my brother Alani Sunday. Ability to multitask. You don't need to write all those profile summary. You can include your area of interest, construction, or people's management, or bioinformatics, or Internet of Things. These are research interests you can include in your CV. Inconsistent fonts, you have to be careful the kind of font you use. You don't want to use Time Roman somewhere, and then you use Calibri somewhere, and you use, just putting everything together, my model of your CV. Color is very important. I use black and white. You don't want to use like colors such as blue somewhere, green somewhere, indigo somewhere, purple somewhere. This makes, like, a lot of people also have issues with color. So you be very, very careful, especially if you're writing a professor that, maybe they're just sensitive to color. Complicated style and design, you have to be very careful. For your resume, you can, talk about design, but when it comes to academic CV, you want to keep it simple yet, really catchy and tailor towards, the right thing. It's important to note that, I always talk about this analogy that your academic CV is like a professor is in the bus going home. He receives an email from you, and he opens his phone, and he checks out your academic CV, and everything is scattered everywhere. Then it doesn't show that you are thorough enough. It doesn't show that you have what it takes to be for that position. They want to see how detailed you are, attention to details, how thorough you are, how coordinated you are, and that starts from what you put in your CV. Then self-declaration, I've seen this from my followers from India. They write self-declaration on their CV. I hereby certify that this CV is mine, and all the information written here is true. These are not really necessary in your CV. Nobody needs that. But if you apply for a position in India and they require for you to do that, yeah, you have to write that. So I've talked about photography and all the stuff, the color, the complicated designs. Please, if you have this final format on your CV, that you have your permanent address, local government of origin, and from my family, you don't have to put those things on your CV. People don't care about that. You want to start your CV with basically your details. And so when you want to write an effective academic CV, it has to, start with your personal details. If you have a teaching experience, you can put it. If you have honors and awards, people always say, oh, we don't have honors and awards. But think about those awards you got in primary school, think about those awards you got in secondary school, think about the bursary you got from your local government, think about the scholarship you had from your state government. You can, include those things in your CV, but it's also very tricky. Like you need to know how to, quantify those things on your CV so that, when you send it out, they can know that, okay, this person has scholarly achievement and this person is competitive enough. We'll talk about that very soon. Your outreach is very important. Your research experience, I always tell my audience, as long as you had an undergrad thesis, you had a project for undergraduate, you should have research experience. You should be able to explore that and put those things on your CV. I just want to say that there's no single way to write a CV. You can tailor it. You can, make it your own. Having, like, basically, if you see some CV, it's like, education, experience, honors and award, publications, they tailor it that way. But you can choose to tailor your CV in the way that you, want. But again, it has to contain basic, headings, which they would see that you actually know what you are doing. So basically, contact information, like I said, at the top of your CV, you should include your full name. This is very important. Your contact address, your phone number. Make sure the phone number is the one that is working. You don't want to include several phone numbers. Make sure that it's a phone number that you can be reachable. Your email address should be an email address that you can access. I have my email address on my mobile and on my computer. Like at every point, I pull out my emails almost every 6 hours in a day or less than that to see if I have emails. Your website link. if you have a website link for people that are looking out for PhD positions, looking for postdoc or faculty positions, you need a website. You can host it on WordPress. It is free. You can subscribe to, you can even get like a domain name for as low as $1. So you need a website link so that they can see you can document your journey, you can document your publication, you can document your outreach, you can document your service on the website so that people, when they search for you online, they can see information about you. But if you're a fresh grad, you may not need it. But if you have the opportunity to be involved in, web development, I think it's something you can create. Just, document it. That's for your contact information. As you can see from mine, this is my latest CV, which I don't think it's online because I decided to take it away online. So this is my latest academic CV. You can see my name bold, my email address, where I work, my phone number. I should have blurred my phone number out. Then my website is also there, and you can see my address at the right corner, Michael Smith, where I work. But basically, you can also replace this with your home address so that your Surface mail can go to your home address, especially if you change your job. So you want to be sure that your contact address is reachable. You can be reachable in your contact address, because if these days it's all online documents, but if they're sending hard copy documents, they can send it to your Surface email address, and it can be delivered. And academic appointment for those that are going for faculty positions, you can decide to write this. There is a list of academic position in reverse chronological order. You can write what you do, like if you're a lecturer, you can put it from this particular year to this year. I wrote the fact that I was a visiting professor of teaching in EXU, but no longer. Yeah, this was my old CV. So you can put the time. Postdoctoral research fellow in UBC. I have it there, academic appointments, and also as a postdoctoral research fellow in Germany. I had it on my academic appointment. So if you are a postdoctoral research fellow, you can indicate it, a visiting lecturing position. If you have an adjunct role, you can indicate this in the academic appointment. Disclaimer for people that are looking for undergraduate positions, graduate positions, postdoc positions, you don't need to put this heading on your academic CV. So like I said, my CV could be so sophisticated, but it took me like 16 years to get to this point. So you don't have to be intimidated. So please take the headings that are not important for you, take them away from your CV. Now, education is very important. You provide a brief of your academic qualification, also in reverse chronological order. High school is not necessary. We had an argument on Twitter a couple of weeks ago about putting high school or primary school or kindergarten on your CV. Please don't put it. Your education should be limited to tertiary institution. Maybe you have ND or HND or BSc or MSc. You can indicate that on your CV and indicate maybe your dissertation, your advisor. This is when I was in EXU. I have Professor David Uluwali as my advisor, and the title of my project thesis. So you can indicate that with your, okay, you have a BSc already, you have a master's, you have your PhD. You can indicate those things in your education, under your education. Again, high school is not necessary, except required. Kindergarten is not necessary. Please don't put it on your CV. So we go to research interest. I talked about profile summary earlier. So please, you can replace your profile summary with research interest. Like I said, I'm a fungal biologist, so I put it there, like my research interest is primarily focused on the mechanism of fungal pathogenesis and the interplay between host and pathogen to discover novel therapeutic options. So you can decide to state that your research interest is into fungal biology, or let's say Internet of Things, or let's say political science or conflict resolution or peace and conflict management. So you can put that as your research interest, or early child education, or education for a handicap. You can put that on your as your research interest. It has to be short, so it addresses your past, present, or future research goal, so that when you apply, when you send your CV to a particular professor, once he sees that or she sees that, you can know that, oh, this person is actually interested in my area of field, and it's related. So you don't want to put a profile summary which only says you're hardworking, you're brilliant, you can work under pressure, you can do multitasking and all those things. So your research interest should address your past, present, or future research goal. And again, the next thing is your research experience. This is very tricky, and a lot of people do say they don't have research experience. But again, think deep. You've done an internship. You've done something that is significant. You want to describe your research experience also in reverse chronological order. Indicate the name of your supervisor, your thesis project, the funding body, if any. Also convey your accomplishment using action verbs, action words. For me, I said I performed, I contributed, I designed, I executed. Those things are really catchy, so that they know that not only that you've done this, but you are also independent. Like, you can stand on your own in terms of with minimal supervision. So if you just finished your undergrad, or you're still doing your undergrad in Nigeria, or in Ghana or Zambia, or wherever you are, you're listening to us, it's important to identify those materials and methods, those expertise that goes into your project if you're still doing it. And also, if you do not have basic research experience, especially I use microbiology as a reference point, I would encourage you to look for research institutes where you can volunteer to have those experience. I have my brother, Nuruddin, he's in Switzerland. He was working at Nigerian Institute of Medical Lab Research before he left for Switzerland. These are like institutes in Nigeria that are doing amazingly well, and there are also other institutes in Nigeria that you can volunteer. You can talk to professors in your field of interest, where you can volunteer and have access to those opportunities. Then you can put it in your CV. Honors and award is very important when it comes to honors and award. This is a description of fellowships and awards that you've had so far. You can talk about this award, especially they are related to your field of interest. In terms of if you're a microbiologist, you can write about honors and awards and that you've enjoyed so far. For me, I state the value of this award. This is what I was talking about earlier, that you can state the values of this awards in terms of how much, in terms of financial value. You can see my fellowship and honors here. Even the ones that I rejected, I still quantify these awards in my CV. Grants and total secured grant. You can talk about the grants you've secured, your role in the grant as well. Did you contribute to writing the grant application? So you can indicate it, like you can see on my CV, the State Scholarship Graduate Award 2008 to 2010 and 2012. I enjoyed this award and I quantified it. So you can indicate these awards in your CV. Even the awards you got in schools in the UK that you didn't eventually settle for, you can quantify it in your CV to show that you got these opportunities, and it shows that you are competitive and you are not only a scholar, you're also competitive, and you will be a good fit, especially bringing you to an environment that encourage competition and in terms of innovations and academic excellence. So teaching experiences for people that probably have had teaching experience. If you don't have it, again, please remove it. So if you probably, when you went for NYC, you served as a teacher, you can indicate it in your CV to show that you've had opportunity to teach people, and this also helps to buttress the point that when you're going to grad school, you become a TA, teaching assistant, and most institutions, if not all, they give stipends for TA. I read on Twitter recently, one of my followers just got to the US, they were going to offer 3,500 per month for a TA position. So if you have all this teaching responsibility before, please indicate them on your CV. You can indicate the number of students that is in your class. Like you can see on mine, I indicated the number of students that I teach in EXU, also University of British Columbia, to show that you have this experience with teaching and also mentoring undergrad or postgraduate students. And supervision and mentoring is for people also that are in the higher cadre, especially people looking for postdocs, as well as faculty positions. So you're watching this video or you will watch it later, or you might be applying for faculty positions. So you have to indicate supervision and mentoring activities on your CV to show that not only you're very good in research, but you also mentor people, because this is the basis of academia, to build, future scholars in academia in the field of STEM and non-STEM. Equity, diversity, and inclusion. This is what we're doing. Silas is doing it. Nuruddin is doing it. Sunday is doing it. Janet is doing it. But oftentimes we don't know. We don't even put it in our CV. Like I could see Silas smiling. You're attending the PG research every Friday. But it is huge. Like we don't quantify this on our CV. And I've attended interviews. People have called me to say, we see what you're doing on YouTube. You're doing amazing. Your CV is, I don't know, you're doing so much in terms of media. If you don't put it on your CV, how will people know? So in terms of media, I put founder and content creator of Scholarship Cafe. If you are a volunteer with us, you can put this on your CV. If you are helping people to review their CV and SOP, you can put this under EDI. You're helping to further diversifications. And these are the things when it comes to the ranking candidates on CGPA tick, ranking candidates on SOP tick, ranking candidate on expertise tick, then begin to like, oh, what can we look at again? And every institution now is talking about equity, diversity, and inclusion, and bringing someone on board that knows what it means when it comes to EDI, it's a plus for you. So if you're looking for opportunities in grad school, as a faculty person, please find a way to incorporate EDI activities into your CV. And it is very important, especially we have a lot of YouTube channel now talking about education, scholarships, people pasting waivers. I remember Nuruddin last year sent me a lot of waivers to post on Scholarship Cafe. This is huge. So you can quantify these in your CV. Then service is important for people that also have access to serve professional bodies and organizations. You can write them. Most organizations for people in microbiology is free in the US, GSA, ASM, and SFAM. You can put all those things professional affiliation service. If you're a member of those organizations, you can put it on your CV. The outreach is what we're doing today. As you can see, I think I'm going to talk to Silas again. You can see on my outreach, I put guest speaker. I'm going to incorporate what I'm doing today in my outreach. I put my Twitter space on my CV. So maybe people don't really know this. And that's why I said you can find this CV online, because it's so dear to me. Like I don't want people to plagiarize it. So you can, put all those things on your CV to show your outreach. If you appeared in the press, people put print and media on their CV. If you ever have an award, you can also put this on your CV. Professional affiliation, like I said earlier, you look at professional affiliations in your field of interest. You can even get scholarships through these professional affiliations to attend conferences. I mean, Silas just left a conference, which he's also going as a fellow. Congratulations to another university. You can get all these things from being a part of your professional affiliation, and most of these affiliations for people from low-income countries: India, Ghana, Zimbabwe, Zambia, Kenya, Burundi, Bangladesh. publish. They are free. So you can enjoy these opportunities, especially, and you have access to discounted rates for publication. You can even be involved in leadership programs, review process, and all those things. So these things are important, especially if you're looking for a position or you're looking for a position, maybe a graduate position in academia, or you also want to become a professor. If you're checking us out on YouTube and you're part of today's webinar. So conference presentations, if you also have opportunities to present at conferences, you can put them on your CV. Quantify them. How many numbers of oral presentations have you heard? How many numbers of poster presentations have you heard? It's important to put all those things in your academic CV. Publication, again, if you have publications, it's okay. List them on your CV. You can put total, list them. But if you do not have, don't harm yourself. Publication includes journal articles, book, or chapters. Use the reference styles that are appropriate to your discipline. It is also important to note that ResearchGate is not a journal. It's a depository for articles, and you can connect with professors. People ask me, how do you get those publications that you have to pay for? You can directly write those professors to say you need access to their publication, and they can send it to you without even paying any amount. So you need to list your publications, make sure your name is in that publication. I've seen situations where professors publish papers without their student. There's no way you can claim that publication if your name is not there. So please, if you're just graduating, you can turn your project into a manuscript. And if also you're just graduating, it's important to write something good. If you're still in 200, 300 level, and you're going to write your thesis in another 2 years, please make sure you write something good, because it's now become a norm that most professors require you to send them a writing sample, and that comes to the e-copy of your thesis. So you don't want to send a thesis that you just dub and copy online that is full of plagiarized document. You want to write something good, something worthy, something that you can be proud of, and then you can send it to those professors. And if you're having issues with publications or publishing your articles, journals, talk to your professors, talk to your lecturers that you're interested in academia, you're interested in scholarships. Can they guide you on how to publish your articles? You can get grants to publish papers. There are so many bodies out there that gives you grants to publish articles. We're doing an amazing job in Africa, in other part of the world, especially when you don't have access to funds and you're publishing with your own personal funds. So people need to see your project. People need to see what you've innovated. People need to see your work. And you can only do this if you publish this manuscript in journals. And also it's important to avoid predatory journals that they will tell you they'll publish your work within 2 days. They just want to chop your money. I should use that word. They don't do any critical, thorough peer review. Please make sure you published in articles that are, peer-reviewed journal and, Scopus Index journal. Then languages, if you have language proficiency, I speak Korean, I have it written on my CV. If you speak Spanish, if you speak Chinese, if you speak German, if you speak Yoruba, I put Yoruba, I had Yoruba before in my CV, and also English. I showed my level of like a native language, a distinguished level in listening, speaking, reading, and writing, so that they can know that, okay, yeah, we're talking about the issue of exempting people from writing IELTS, but you also want to show in your CV that you are, a native speaker of the language. So references is also important. There's also always a big deal when it comes to references. Like, reference plays a big role, especially when you're applying for positions or scholarship opportunities. You want to be sure that people that would be your reference are people that can attest to your academic prowess, your volunteering ability, your leadership capacity, your ability to adapt to a new environment, your teamwork spirit, the fact that you're innovative. You don't want to get a reference letter from someone you meet on Twitter. I get a lot of requests. Oh, Dr. Lumiwa, can you write a reference letter for me? And the question is, in what capacity? Oh, I met you on Twitter. You don't post nudes. You're a good person. You don't cause violence. No, I should be able to talk about your research experience, your mental capacity, your ability to cope with, a situation that might not be palatable, your ability to be independent. So I've seen opportunities that they weighted reference letter as 40%. So you want to be sure that someone that's writing your reference letter should be able to attest to all the attributes I've listed before. A similar scenario was someone that had a low grade and he applied to a Canadian university, and the Canadian professor was interested, and the professor had to like request for, contact of his 3 references, and when he gave the contact out, and the Canadian professor was convinced to say, oh, he's a smart student, it's just that the CGP is not that high, but it doesn't show his true color. And he got a Canadian visa approval yesterday. So it makes a lot of sense when you have references that can attest to those abilities that makes you stand out. How do you get these references? It has to come to relationship. You can't just wake up to ask professors to write reference letter for you if you don't have a relationship with them. And that is why I tell to undergrads that might be here today, you might be listening to this video later, that choose your battles wisely. If you're in the uni, it's okay to have a point. It's okay to make your point, sensible enough, but please do not fight a battle that will hurt you in the future. So please build relationship with your lecturers. If it is okay when they want to write a reference letter for you, send them an updated version of your CV, send them a template of what you're doing so far, so that they will be updated and they can, apply this appropriately to your recommendation letter. And so thank you so much. It's been a wonderful 40 minutes. And right now we're just going to, we'll open floor for questions. You can put your questions in the chat box, and we will go to the breakout room right away. And what we're trying to do is to have the breakout room for STEM, on STEM. So if you're in the field of STEM, please, you can choose automatically. You can just, or we move you to the breakout room. So I'm going to create the breakout room now, so that we can just move. I'm coming right away. Options. Okay. So the breakout room is going to take 35 minutes each, and we'll try as much as possible to address questions. Our speakers will address questions on STEM and non-STEM. So our speakers can move to the different breakout rooms. We have STEM and non-STEM, and so you can move to your different breakout rooms. And if you want us to assign you, you can send us an email. I mean, you can send us a chat to move you to the different breakout rooms. So we have 35 minutes. So I guess a lot of people are in the main room here. You can move to the breakout rooms by selecting the breakout and, move yourself. And please see if you're still here and you don't know where to belong, please check the breakout room option. You can, directly move yourself. I'm trying as much as possible to move other people that are here as well. Please indicate which room you want to be, and then I can move you to the room. Thank you. So if you want me to move you to a breakout room, I have 12 unassigned participant. I don't know if you're here, you can just raise your hands and I can try as much as I can to move you to specific breakout room. Again, we have the button to move. It takes you to non-STEM, but when you look at the button, you have STEM and non-STEM. So, check the one with STEM and non-STEM that you can move yourself to either STEM or non-STEM. So if you Marvel Alaki, I think people are already moving themselves to those unassigned breakout rooms. I have Taiwo Lajumoke. So which breakout room do you want to be? I think a lot of people are getting assigned to different breakout rooms as well. So I'm seeing the unassigned get into each breakout room. Please indicate in the chat box. I'll see how to go about that. Okay. Great. I think it's been moved. Okay. Excel. Excel, you can unmute yourself. I could see that you unmuted yourself recently.
Can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you.
Finally.
Wow.
Thank you.
Let me find a way to move you to the non-STEM.
Thank you, sir. Thank you.
Okay. You were actually in the non-STEM before, but
Yeah, I'm actually having a problem with my video. So I'm trying to use my phone and my laptop. So I speak with the laptop and do the video with the phone. So in the phone, I can't hear anybody, but on my laptop, I can hear you.
wow.
So I need you to please invite me so that I can use my laptop to speak and my phone to do the video, please.
Trying to put you in, I can't even find the assign button now.
Oh man.
Also something that has to do with the mobile system compatibility.
Yes. My laptop is not I need help.
Because in unassigned here, we have just one person, and I can see other people, Timile or Pabola.
Funnily enough, I'm in the non-STEM, but they can't hear me. So I want to use my laptop to talk to them. Hello, Anna. Can anybody hear me? This is bad. I can't hear them. Oh man. You got it. Mhm. Mhm. I just got a message. Can I speak here? Okay. Yeah. Hello, can you hear me? I think I need some response because I'm just reading the messages. Okay. Can you see me? Hello? I need some response. Can you see me? Okay. You can hear me. Hello, everybody. Oh, okay. Okay, so before you can't see me. I don't know. I don't know how to do this. But is anybody see me? I know you can hear me. I have issues. Oh yeah, I left the non-STEM room. Yes, I'm using two devices to communicate. So I'm in the main room now. I'm in the main room. So I don't know if you can see me. If you can see me, could you unmute yourself and speak to me, please? So that I can know who I'm speaking with. If you can see me, let me get some messages. I'm trying to use my phone and my laptop at the same time. Oh, you can't unmute. Oh, I get you now. I get you now. All right. So, okay. So this is what I'm going to do. I'm going to put on my device. I'm using my phone to make the video. And oh, I'm getting your messages. Thank you. Keep them coming. Okay, you people can't unmute, but you can see me. So this is what I'm going to do. I'm going to put on this my phone here. I'm making the video with the phone. It's quite complicated. So my name is Excel Andy, and I'm a graduate student in the University of Kentucky. I'm studying kinesiology and health promotion. Okay, can I still go ahead? Since we can't converse, I would like you people to be texting me. Okay, I'm hearing you like now. I just got go ahead. Oh, thank you. Okay, actually on the non-STEM. Should I talk about the non-STEM? Do you think so? Oh, I should go ahead.
Yes, go ahead.
Okay, thank you. All right, so
Yeah, so I'll just moderate your part of the non-STEM because you're unable to get to the non-STEM. So
yes.
probably people that are here are also non-STEM. So what can you say about the basic ingredient that should be in a non-STEM CV?
Okay. The ingredient that should be in the non-STEM, the issue with non-STEM is that it's very broad. It's very broad. So inside non-STEM, we have education. Like me, I finished from College of Education, and then there are also humanities. Non-STEM to me is those that are not in the sciences, technology, electrical, and mathematics. So if you know your studies is not related under the science part, meaning you're not doing all this acid, base, biology, all this one, then you're under non-STEM. So the ingredients that should be in a non-STEM CV, because I wrote it down, I'm using my own to guide everybody. The first thing is your skills. What are your skills? You know, when creating a CV, you want to tell them, you have to summarize yourself, you want to sell yourself, like summarize but sell yourself. So you look for the skills that are related to the job or to what they're looking for. Like me, I'm a teaching assistant, and I was applying for a teaching assistant position in my school. So what I did was I looked for the skills that I can show, okay, I can teach undergraduates. So luckily for me, during my NYC, I worked in the school. And then when I graduated, I worked in the school too. So I brought it out. I put it number one skills, social skills, because a teacher, you have to be social, and then teamwork. I worked with the school management. So you just list them. And then the work experience, your skill, your work experience should be tailored to, I don't want to use the word tailored because a lot of people work, like for Nigerians, you could study a course like international relations, and then you're now working as a sales marketer. You know, it looks quite unrelated. So if you want to bridge it, if you want to show the school, this is what I did, but in relationship to, oh, I can't record it. I don't know how to do it.
We are
But let
hearing
me
you.
just go.
We can hear you.
Okay, okay. So for the work experience, example, if you are working in a wrong, I won't use the word wrong. If you are working in an organization that is quite different from what you studied in school, you could just explain it in paragraphs. Like example says you work at Excel Limited company, and then position says marketing officer. Now, if you want to explain that sales marketing officer in relationship to the skills the school is looking for, you could just write teamwork, collaboration. I was able to manage, they're looking out for management, because as a teaching assistant, I will use myself. I do lots of meetings. I do lots of meetings with my instructor. So if that skill wasn't there, if that social skill wasn't there, teamwork, then those are what are lacking in your CV. So make sure you, when you're putting it, you can explain it, you can defend it, so that in real life they will say, but she puts social skills and she's antisocial. So I'm actually speaking from my personal experience because I'm a teaching assistant. So I could remember that I put social work, sociability, teamwork, able to work well. I didn't say able to work under pressure, because if you say that, you might be pressured. And then another ingredient of a good CV for non-STEM is volunteer or community service. In my CV, during my undergraduate, I was volunteering in lots of jobs. And luckily for me, in Nigeria, in University of Ibadan, because I finished from Human Kinetics and Health Education Department, I was working with my professors in games, inter-house sport games, so I could defend it, I could put it there. So volunteer as official in soccer for women, volunteer, like every year, every school year, we always do inter-house game. We always do school, this competition. So I could put in my volunteer. And then another thing again is that I was the Red Cross. I was in the Nigerian Red Cross. So the University of Ibadan detachment. So I explained it. Volunteer, member of the Nigerian Red Cross Society, University of Ibadan detachment. And then I put in what I did. The thing is that if you are a fresh graduate that just graduated probably last year, you know you don't have much work experience, but you want to expand it. You want your CV to be very rich. Like me now, I finished in 2020, and then I finished in 2019, did my NYC 2020. So I didn't really have much work experience, but I was able to get a job last year. So now when I looked at my CV, it was looking so blank, so sparse. I didn't know what to do. So I had to elaborate on all my volunteer, all my awards. I won lots of awards for, in school, if you do volunteer work, they give you awards. So they can say participated in. So I elaborated on that. So you want to sell what you have on ground. You have to show them, I can do this. I might not have enough work experience, but during my undergraduate, I was effective in this and that. Just my CV, when I was looking at my CV before coming in, I just went to check my CV and I saw that the bulk of my CV are my honors and awards. I had a lot of awards in school, so I really put everything. That's why when Doc was talking about your award, put it, the one you won in school, put everything. I put my own. It took like the middle of my first page CV. I was so happy when I was bringing all the certificates from my box. I was writing them, okay, participated in women club. I play basketball, so I put it there. All the games and the events I participated and I got certified, like awarded, just put it there. And then there's some, okay.
Yeah, go ahead. I'm just gonna
Okay.
ask you other questions because maybe people here also want to ask questions. So if you are unable to join breakout rooms, please you can ask us questions. Excel will represent them. I'll represent them, so
Okay.
we can answer your questions accordingly. Yeah.
Okay. So and then there's something I wrote down here. One thing about the CV is that you have to put everything you have done. Yes, you don't feel this job is not worth it, this job is not worth it. Put it, because when I was listening to Doc, he was saying he put his career, the one he won in equity, like don't downplay yourself. You want this school to take you. You want to show them, pick me. Why you're trying, the reason for graduate application, I'm getting to understand it, is that you want to tell the school, why should they pick you? So you have to sell yourself as much as you can. And the only way you can sell yourself is through your CV, your SOP, and then your reference letter. But the one you have control in is your CV and your statement of purpose. But for this CV, now you know your CV is just 2 pages, and then, okay, I'll answer that. I'm coming. So now you want to tell the school, like me, I applied to about hospital, and I know I won't be there to tell them I was playing basketball, I was a Red Crosser, I went for this, I represented, I couldn't. So what I did was that I wrote it in my CV as much as I could. I emphasized on my honors because I didn't get much work experience. What I put in my work experience was my first teaching practice I did in Ibadan. I put it there, the first one, then the second one was my internship. I put it there, and funnily enough, each of them was just a year. So your job experiences to me should be following each other. Like me now, 2017 to 2018, first teaching practice, then 2019 to 2020, like just like that. So luckily, when I was arranging my CV, I discovered that I actually worked all through the year. It's just you making it. You have to, how do I say it? You have to write about it. Okay, you work as, you are assisting a professor, you could write graduate assistant in Ekiti or in Anambra or in whatever state. And then you put what you did. No job is too small. You really worked, yes, put it. You volunteer for a day, put it there. The thing is, you want to sell it. You have no experience, but you want to tell them, I can do something. I have done something. I might be a fresh graduate, but I have experiences in other sides. So make sure you put everything you have done. Now when I say put everything you have done, I don't mean put it and make the CV so untidy. Firstly, what was I had a generic CV. I just had a normal CV. So when I was about to apply to this school, and then I looked at it, and then I checked the professors, I actually went extra mile. I checked the professors. I saw that because there's always bio. Some tell you what they love doing, where they've worked or so. So when I read their CVs, I downloaded a lot of people's CV. This is my professors, and then I read it, and then I thought to myself, I was like, okay, this professor did this job. Okay, and then I compare, okay, I did my internship in the University Health Services in Ibadan. Actually worked in health related field because I was pursuing a master's in health promotion. So I needed to show the school that I have worked in the health sector. I brought out my internship and I arranged it, okay, internship, and elaborated on it. Then for this job that I just resigned to come here, I was the physical and health education teacher, but I didn't want the school to think I am coming in for sports. I made big deal of the health education. So I said, I taught learners health education. I organized health assemblies. I gave talk shows. So you are just following that feed. You want to study health promotion. You look for the job experiences and put it there. And then luckily my Red Cross, I was a Red Cross, and then I was a member of the Nigerian Red Cross. So I just put it there as professional affiliation. It's a professional organization, member of the Nigerian Red Cross Society, Nigeria. Teaching practice, I'm a licensed teacher in Nigeria. I put it there. Member of the Teachers Registration Council, Nigeria. So you always have something. You just have to sit back, get a book, write where you have worked, where you have volunteer, then take your time to arrange it. So that's it. I'm getting some questions. Let me check it. I'm coming. Okay, you graduated as the overall best HND graduating student in your department, but you wasn't awarded because the school went to strike. Okay, I'm trying to bring this closer down. And you couldn't hold the, okay. I'm coming, I'm trying to make this chart very big from my end.
Okay, I'm back, and thank you so much for the wonderful job you're doing, Andy. So if you have any questions for us, please feel free to raise up your hands, then we can ask you to unmute.
Okay.
I'm sorry for people that, I apologize for inability to assign you to groups. I think it's also coming from incompatibility with phones and maybe computers. So someone says, can I include my leadership experience during my undergraduate days? Yeah, that's for Excel.
Yes.
Please.
Okay, yes. Yes, you have to. In fact, that is a very good one. That's a very good one. Thank you for reminding me, because during NYSC, you have leadership position. So yes, if you are the student union leader, please put it. It's very good. In fact, that is a selling point. In my own case, I founded an online, because I'm actually passionate about health for women. So I founded an online, I co-founded, yeah, me and the girl, we worked together. We co-founded a WhatsApp online group for females. So I put it there, co-founded, and I put it because you could easily check it. So yes, put it. I was the general secretary of my NYSC CDS group. I put it there. It was there. I emphasized it. Assistant General Secretary, and then all the volunteer work. That's why if you are doing your NYSC, please take it very seriously. All those visiting the prisons, those are your volunteer work. They have dates, so you could do, probably visit the prison today, please put it down there, member of sustainability CDS group, but put it in full. So I'm trying to, let me use my phone to get this chart. I'm seeing lots of messages. Okay, this person said he graduated as the overall best HND student in his department, but he wasn't awarded. Please indicate it, As long as you can reach out to your HOD, or is it HOD? Yeah, HOD. You can tell him, am I still going to be awarded, to be on the safe side? Yes, since are the best graduating student, put it there. Best graduating student, mass communication. I'm sure by the time ASU strike is over, you will get awarded. Any other questions?
Please ask your question now. We have less than 6 minutes to go.
Okay.
So please.
Uma, Uma Adam asks, how do you explain your teaching practice in your CV? Is it an experience or a volunteer? Please, it is an experience. It is an experience. Please, that is the only chance you have. I use my teaching practice as an experience for myself. So please put it work experience. You know, after you've been yourself, like I'm trying to draw the CV. So you put in your undergraduate, put in your thesis, the year you finished, and then work experience in bold. You can now write it out, but you write it in reverse. You write it from probably from now, this year, 2022 to 2024. It should be bottom up. So please, it's a work experience. It's not a volunteer. You didn't volunteer, you worked actually. And can you include a religious leadership experiences during my undergraduate days? Yes, you can. Like me, one of my awards was, I was an usher in the NCCF. So I just wrote it there, member of the Nigerian Christian Community, NCCF. So you can just put it, but there's a way you write it, they won't pick big deal into it. Okay, you graduated from the University of Nigeria in Nsukka, and I wrote some published papers. Oh, how do I categorize it if that was it? Okay, this is what you are going to do for that person that graduated from Nsukka. Put it in your publication, but in brackets, unpublished. Yes, unpublished. You didn't publish it, but please only put your thesis and departmental conferences. You could just put it. Departmental conferences should fall under conferences, but to be from down. So like probably you went for your departmental conference in 2018, you put it at the bottom, like you start from the lowest to the highest, from 2016 to 2022, not from 2016 down to 2022, like 2016, 2017, 2018, did you get it? Oh, can I have a sample of? That's the funny thing. One thing, the thing is that this academic CV is quite confidential. So a sample, if you have, I don't want to say, if you followed when Dr. Miwa was talking, he actually showed us. So what I could do, I could just list it, just work experiences. It's just the arrangement. And then my ID, I indicate my GPA. Well, in this case, I would say I didn't put my own. I finished with a 2-1. I finished with 5.7 over 7.0, but I didn't say it. Please don't say it. The thing is, they don't really, when they convert it to, if you're coming to US, by the time they convert it, it's actually a bit high because they use 4.0. So when I did the conversion, I was actually more than. So best don't say it, they ask, since you're already submitting your transcript. So do not say anything about your GPA, just say yourself. What's other questions again? How can I tailor my academic CV as someone who has no experience? Oh, please, can this person can you type what you mean by no experience? I believe everybody has experience. Did you work somewhere? Just text me in the box, I'll reply you. Okay, this person said he studied religion and cultural studies. Where's the best place to put it at? Okay, Praise didn't really work. Oh my, I don't know. But did you do internship? Text me back. Did you do internship? Like there must be an internship. What do you mean by no work experience? Like you didn't work all through school? Are you serving? Don't forget your PPA. If you are a copper, your PPA is actually a work experience. That's what I did to explain the educational gap between 2019 to 2020. Okay, your internship year was disturbed because of COVID. Oh, COVID. But did you still go for the internship? Okay, let me answer Chisom Barnabas. You studied religion and cultural studies. Is pastoral function, work experience, or voluntary? Where is the best place to put it? Can you explain this pastoral function for me? Like, what are you doing exactly? That's one thing about creating a CV. You have to break the English down to these people. They are not Nigerians. They don't understand. So now when you say pastoral function, yeah, pastor is actually a big stuff. So you have to tell us, what did you do? So Chisholm, try to explain this pastoral function for me. experiences that are not related to the course of study, you have to put it, is your work experience. And then persons who study religious studies do go for NYSC. Yes, they should, right? I believe. Okay, I get you now. Okay, now that there is an ASU strike, I need you to go get a job. Not really go get it, like just do something. Just do something so that we can put it in the CV. You need to show them that apart from school, you are actually working. You want to show them, pick me out of all the students. No NYSC experience too. Oh, I think Dr. Miwa, we have to answer this one. I really don't know how to answer it. I don't know, but you'll be fine. That is what I can say. So are these all the questions? I believe I've answered everybody. Okay, so that's it. Okay, you serve as a youth pastor. Oh, this is actually a good. This is actually a good. Yes. So there's a way we write it. Okay. This youth pastor in a rural parish. This is what you do if your church is searchable. Like if your church is easily the one I can see online, you can just put it there. Example, like my church now is the Redeemed Christian Church of God. So I can say the Redeemed Christian Church of God, Abuja, Nigeria, role administrative assistant or administrative. There's a way you form the English. You won't really put it pastoral. The way you put it, probably you are assisting a pastor, or you are the pastor yourself, and then function reached out to people in rural area or so village, spoke to them, counseling, and that's the way you just, the thing is all about English. You have to package yourself, but you're not lying. You just have to look for the good English you want to tell them. So I believe that one should be good. So the best, let's put it in work. You didn't volunteer since you can put it in work. Did you work there for 1 year, right? Okay. Oh, 2 years. I think it's the work. You put the year, example 2020 to 2022, and then you list all your duties. Okay, you went from BSc straight to master's program at Cyprus. Please, this question, I think Dr. Miwa will have to answer it. I schooled in Nigeria, so I can only answer for Nigeria, like for African, like where I school from. So I don't really know, I'm sorry. Okay, your ND and HND project are not published and really written to standard after review. Oh, please. Put it there. See, tell yourself. That's the thing. The issue is you want them to pick you. They are paying so application fee. You want to put in the best. Put your CV. Your CV just have about 2 minutes to prove. Let's say 2 minutes approximately. Okay, they're not written to standard. How do you know? I need to know. How do you know they're not written to standard? I believe if you did a good job and your supervisor approved it, because my supervisor was really strict on me, he corrected as many pages. So I don't think I feel if you did it well and your supervisor followed you up, was on your toes, give me this, you really wrote a good project. So these are the questions.
So much, Excel. Excel has been amazing, managing people that couldn't make it to all the breakout rooms. I guess the inability to get to all the breakout rooms has probably built to compatibility with your systems or your phones, so you may have to check on the operating system next time. So we just have we have about 5 minutes left for the groups to give us a summary. So you can, nominate someone from your group or non-STEM to tell us what you were able to gain from the group and the key points of today's discussion from your different groups, STEM and non-STEMs. A lot of people are watching us on YouTube. We're sorry, some people requested for the link. The link is strictly for people that registered for today's webinar. Thank you so much. So we're just going to open the floor for summary from each of the breakout rooms, and then we can wrap up in another 2 to 3 minutes. Thank you. Maybe I should start calling names. So Bruno, how was it in your group, and what did you tell your people? What's the summary from your breakout through? If maybe Silas can also chime in something, and yeah, from the non-STEM perspective. You can unmute yourself now. I'm just gonna. You can unmute yourself.
Okay. I think the highlight of our discussion was essentially on those who are probably looking for scholarships to get into probably courses all over the world. But I think we discussed extensively the major components of the CV, what exactly you need as a non-STEM student, how you are able to tailor your interests to fit into the professor's area of interest or whomever you are actually, or the schools, departments you are trying to apply to. So we discussed extensively in that area, and there were so many questions about how to gain scholarships. So I think maybe they will ask you that personally, so you could probably tell them if there's going to be another session where some of that stuff will be discussed, especially in SOPs and all of that. And some other people who probably have a background in a different course and probably they've been working all their life in another area and trying to find a way to fit in to that, to fit that into their CV. So
thank you so much. Yeah, questions about how to get scholarships, I address that monthly on my Twitter space. So you can stay connected, bring the questions, we'll address that. On research proposal and literature review, Dr. Olushola does that every Friday. Silas is always a speaker. I always join as well. We had it yesterday. So for all the questions, we might tend to have another webinar. You know, I also do live streams on YouTube. You can send me questions on my timeline. I receive a lot of questions every day, and a lot of them I've answered them on my timeline. So you can check my timeline. I have 52 pin posts, and guess what? Scholarship Cafe will be alive in another couple of days. You can have resources, you can have questions there. We can answer your questions on mobile app, and web app will be available. So thank you so much, Bruno. I think that goes for non-STEM. For STEM, Maya, how was it? You can unmute.
Nuruddin, were you in my group? Maybe Sunday should give a recap of that.
Okay.
Sunday. Yeah.
Who wants to give us a report from the STEM group? Okay, Sunday, do you want to go?
Okay, good. So,
okay, great.
Yeah, it was a pretty nice session. People had a lot to ask. And I think for this 10 part, it was majorly on how to align the CV with what, people, the scholarship agencies, the schools you want to apply to, what they need. And they were asking majorly on, where should this fall into, where should that fall into? And we were able to put justice to that. So I believe that other questions and other things can also be followed up on the Twitter and the Scholarship Cafe account, and people can always get as much as the information that they need later on. I'm sure that all of us, we are always going to be available for people to, reach out to anytime. Questions, informations, and scholarship informations, you would always get it. Dr. Olimo has always been doing justice to that every time. So I don't think that's a problem at all. Yeah.
Thank you so much for that. Okay. There've been a lot of questions on YouTube as well. I will do justice to that my own time. I will attend to your questions one-on-one. Once again, we're sorry we couldn't get you into the group, into the Zoom meeting today. For those on YouTube, we tried as much as possible to be security conscious, and even the cost of the webinar, we had someone that came display nudity, which we wanted the law. I mean, we kicked out the person immediately. So we're sorry we couldn't have to put the link online. We don't want to joke with the privacy of our guests. So I just want to say thank you so much to everyone. I do not take this for granted. Janet, thank you so much from Hong Kong. It's already late in South Korea. It's I think about 1 a.m. now in South Korea. I just want to say thank you, Bruno. You're doing amazingly well in KDI. Regards to people in KDI, and to everyone that joined today, I just want to say thank you for joining. It's so good to have you. Please watch out for Scholarships Cafe website, and you can also send me an email me an email via olumiwa.ibalaji@scholarshipscafe.com. Thank you, Nuruddin. Thank you, Excel Handy, the main room, as well as Silas. I really appreciate you, my brother. And to every other person that attended today, thank you so much for joining. I wish you all the best. And academic CV is something that the discussion will keep on going on Twitter, on every space. We'll always attend to you. And we offered this webinar today for free. Our idea is not to charge, to help our people to have access to information. We want you to grow. And like Ezel was here in January when we had a cohort, and Nuruddin was there in January as well. Both of them, Excel is in the US, Nuruddin in Switzerland. Sunday, I mentored Sunday on a CV, is in the US. You can also do it. It's not a big deal. Silas is doing amazingly well. Bruno, we met on Twitter in February, and he's currently in South Korea. You can also do it. But again, you have to be intentional. You have to focus. Scholarship is not a jamboree. And I don't usually use the word japa because I know it is much more comprehensive than the word japa, because you want to go to somewhere where they take you as an addition, that you have value to provide for them. So thank you so much, everyone. I really appreciate it. And I'm bringing this meeting to a close, and have a nice